You just heard me say hi. You didn't hear me.
Above a high, and then get break structure or an inverse for value gap following that. We just talked about this. So, a bullish order block is the move up. So, how do we identify liquidity sweep? With, boom, when we move above a high and then get break structure or an inverse for value gap following that. We just talked about this. So, a bullish order block is the move up prior to the liquidity sweep, or sorry, a bearish order block. Sorry, Down syndrome. A bearish order block is the move up prior to the liquidity, or sorry, the move up that caused the liquidity sweep prior to the breaking structure. Okay, so this move up right here is considered our order block. Why is it considered an order block? Well, let's just think back to liquidity sweeps. We know there's a whole bunch of buy orders that are above these highs, right? So when price moves up to fill these buy orders, what is happening on this move up? A whole bunch of sell orders are given the ability to be filled. Because as we're moving up and as we're sweeping out these buy orders and filling these buy orders, what are the market makers doing? They're filling the sell orders to cause price to go down. So what do we know about this price range? From the start of the move up to the top of the move up, there is a whole bunch of potential and there's a whole bunch of probability to be able to fill sell orders. So if price comes back into this price range where there was a lot of probability and a lot of potential for price to be able to fill sell orders, and we see a move down following that, showing that sell orders have been filled, what is likely going to happen? Price is likely going to move down off of that.
Welcome to Take 5 Royalty.
Let's show the bullish. We're in a downtrend. We get a sweep of liquidity. Boom. Okay. We get a sweep of liquidity.
This is the second time he's seen it. He's said it and has spelt it out in the same manner. Right? A liquidity sweep. I made a note on it, so let's just go to it and actually read it. Order block. Liquidity. What are they when they? Okay, cool. Resting orders, stop orders, limit orders. He just went into a much more in-depth version of that. I know that's a bit busted. Here we are. Liquidity is when a price point is achieved and the resulting condition is others exchange their money for trades. Essentially, it means two very close points. Like this right here. Like these two. Right here. Right? It means that the order, it's best represented, I guess, by this. It's when all the, so everyone wants to sell up here because of this, right? So volume floods in, and so price moves down. As a result, we have a low here, low here. The sell orders have been filled, right? People are actually buying this and buying this, and as a result, we have a liquidity sweep here, where price moved all the way down here to a certain point. It's when 2 points, 2 lows are made in a downtrend, and we have one low here, and immediately after a short retrace, we have another low here. It's when those orders have been filled, and as a result, price pushes back up. And he says it the way he says it here, and I say it the way I say it here. It's the exact same thing. It's achieved, and the resulting condition is others exchange the money for trades. Liquidity is where orders will be filled. People will need to exit the market while others come in, all while the banks are filling the orders from people leaving the market. How to spot liquidity. This is one of the most difficult concepts to grasp in the markets. He says it in this video as well. is when the most recent high is taken out by the next in an uptrend, indicating when a change in the market will immediately happen through a much sooner break of structure confirmation. So, when the most recent high, or in this case, the most recent low, is taken out by the next, right? Followed by a break of structure. We can use this one actually. This is our break of structure here. This is a higher low. I think I'm wrong again. I think that's why it's so difficult. Most recent high, or in our case, most recent low, is taken out by the next. Where's our most recent low? Right here. It hasn't been taken out yet. If we were to rewind all the way to here, to where we can't even see that green candle, boom, and we were able to remove that, we would see that this right here is the lowest low. Per these notes, per this note, and the most recent low is taken out by the next. This low was the most recent, aside from this one. It was taken out. Am I not supposed to count this right here? Is that how that works? Is that the mistake I'm making? Because it's by the next low, not the low after that. So, as a result, we have a low here. This low was not taken out. Ergo, this is not liquidity. However, it was taken out by this one, making this the liquidity, where liquidity lies. Price is drawn to liquidity, or imbalances. Right now it's choosing liquidity. That's for this right here. I think more accurately right now, it's filling up buy orders, which means per this candle right here, we're looking for a candle wick to come up above this candle here. This right here would be the liquidity sweep we're after. And it's going to happen, if I'm not mistaken, in this right here. That would make the most sense to me. Again, this is the 4 hour. I know it's the 4 hour. I want to go back down into the 5 minute just to see what stuff is. I want to try and identify a liquidity sweep on the 5 minute. There we go. Boom. So we respected the fair value gap, which is a sign of continuation that is going to continue going up. As a result, we're looking for, right here, this is a perfect example. We have a low taken out by the next low, and from here we have a liquidity sweep, right? And then confirmation was the break of structure on this candle here. We broke structure, and price ramped up, creating a fair value gap. I'm slowly beginning to think liquidity sweeps are indicative of imbalances, and so price is going to try and correct it through an overcorrection. I think I'm wrong. If I keep second guessing myself, I'll never really learn anything. That's the whole point of this, is to risk it. I understand how risky it is now. Get it. I also understand how bad people could lose out. I think I'm right in saying that. This right here is the liquidity sweep. This low was taken out by this low. Maybe that's where I'm messing up. It's not the closure of the candles that indicate liquidity sweep, it's price movement itself. So it's not this right here. Even though this is the lowest point between these two candles, and this right here is the lowest point between these two candles. This right here is the lowest low of the move before this candle comes into play. As a result, it creates a new low. we are in, at this right here, in this segment, a downtrend. This low is taken out by this low, causing instability. Buying is taken up. Those buy orders are filled. We broke structure on that candle there. As a result, buyers had time to climb rapidly. Sell orders weren't being filled, and they weren't filled within this fair value gap. This fair value gap was respected, and as a result, it went higher. Now, what we're looking for, in order for a trade to occur, we're looking for a liquidity sweep on the upside, because right now we are in an uptrend for this whole thing right here. We are in an uptrend. We had a liquidity sweep here. Price moved up to here, took out this most recent high. As a result, we're looking for that instability change. Price wants to come back down. It has filled this fair value gap, respected it. For the upside, we're looking for continuation, because we want price to move up in order for it to work, but we're in a retracement. So what do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to come back down. I think this is about to get disrespected. We're going to put it all the way out there. I think this is going to get disrespected now. Why? Because this right here cleared. That right there. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? I think it makes sense. As quickly as I said that, so a much sooner break of structure confirmation. Break of structure is confirmation and continuation. Liquidity sweep is a sign of reversal, though. This is a sign that price is going to move back down into this fair value gap, which it did. Boom, into the fair value gap, but it respected it even still. A respected fair value gap is indicative of continuation. Boom. Price is going to continue upwards for this, which means we have yet to see the high of this retracement. I'm going to watch this video now.
There's a whole bunch of sell orders that are able to get filled underneath this low. This move down gives price the opportunity to what? Fill buy orders to cause price to change direction. We get a break structure to the upside, confirming that we have changed direction. Now, this range, this move down, which essentially filled all those buy orders.
I feel like I'm actually playing a game now. Oh, what can I compare this to? I can compare it to... I can compare it to my fight with Midir. If you don't know who Midir is, this is a Dark Souls 3 character. He is a... he is Darkness Eater. He eats literal darkness in a world full of magic and difficult monsters to conquer. Midir is rated as one of the toughest winged lizards in the game he is in on his own. My experience with him is a lot like learning these markets, in the sense that it is, you don't know who he is except by his name. You know as soon as someone tells you his title, oh boy, especially when the game's centered around his title, it becomes a little more, oh no. Make sense? And then when you get into the arena for the first time, you don't know what you're in for. You just fall into this hole. You've done that about 2 or 3 times on other games, and frankly, it's one of those boss arenas where it's like, this is a little underwhelming. Majestic, eerie, underwhelming. And it's on purpose. Everything about that arena, that stage, the atmosphere, the feeling is on purpose. Without that atmosphere there, the surprise you'd get from facing him the first time would not be there. Because man, does the music go from complete silence No sound whatsoever. I know you can hear the fan. Try to ignore. No sound. To I am now in your eardrum with absolute you had better be afraid. Because this dragon's now breathing fire coming at you at Mach speed. You are not ready. And per that first fight, this is for everyone who's ever entered the fight, with the exception of the 0.001% have gone into that fight and have died instantly. This is a video game I'm talking about. It's Dark Souls 3. I'm relating my experience with him to this. The way he's drawing this on his chart, the way he's really going in depth, is a lot like the skill condensing you would need to master in order to fight Midir. That is, without question, one of the most relatable things I can honestly give when it comes to listening to him go about his honing down on where price is moving to get the best action so he can buy low, sell high, or sell high and buy low so he can get the most profit off of the market. He's honing down, he's filtering everything down to a fine-tuned point. So it doesn't matter where he is in the market, he knows where price is and where it might go from the context of previous highs, lows, and data shown. The biggest difference between the two, in my opinion, is one, his is more logical, and two, though it's a video game with its logistics behind it, the fight is as emotional as it is logistic when it comes to Midir. So you have the human factor there. And any slight misstep, and there is one attack I've never been able to master on that, and it's the same X factor when it comes to these markets, because he even says it himself. There are so few people, less than 3%, able to be successful with these markets, and it's that laser Midir throws out. It's not the one where he shoots at his feet and just goes up on all fours. It's when he's standing on his hind legs and he's blasting that laser, and all he can think to do is to draw with his head. Because Midir and these markets are that turbulent. They can go any which way they want at any time, and they don't give a crap about you. Just like Midir, these markets will wipe you out in an instant if you are not prepared. That is why I'm taking the time to learn. I think that is the best on the. If TJR watches this stream, I'm pretty sure he'd agree if he ever played that game. I'm pretty sure he'd understand it if he ever got to that boss specifically. The amount of, if I were in that room with him and he was the only one with the controller and I could not help him because I'm away from home or whatever, I am almost certain he would get one tapped unless he's played the game before and is just a god at it. He would get one tapped, just like I did my first run. There's no real preparing for Midir. You could have the best everything in the game, and he'd still one tap you with that laser if you get caught. One slight misstep. That is all it takes for him to wipe you out. Just like these markets. I'm going to continue watching this video now. I think I've rambled on for long enough. I think I did pretty good on that analogy, honestly.
This price range. So when price comes back down within this price range, or if price comes back down within this price range, and then we see buy orders out of it, what is price likely going to do? It's likely going to continue higher. Now, how do we?
I'm also understanding a little bit more about the psychology. He seems annoyed. I'm annoyed. Just thinking about Midir. Just because less annoyed, more shaky, stressful. That's the difference in our psychologies, I think. Before I mastered Midir, before I really went into fighting him and actually getting to know him, dude, I was scared. I heard the name maybe 3 times beforehand. My brother found out about the dragon before I did. We all went into that boss room and every one of us got murked. There were 3 of us in there. It wasn't just me. 3 of us. We all wanted to try it by ourselves first try. All for a bet. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. I bet you can't do this in one try. Or really, let's see. Let's see what we can do. I died at least 60 times. My brother died at least 60 times. My other brother died at least 600 times because he went after it for a while. We really honed in on this dragon and nothing else. Everything about everything else does not matter. Why? Because we've mastered it. But this dragon, every single one of his attacks, doesn't matter what it is. It's just something else. And it adds on to that stress, not the fear, but the actual stress, the anxiety of it, because I was stressing all the way through learning how to fight him, and it took me 15 attempts to get his health bar from 100 to 0 in one attempt. And that one attempt had me on the Tears of Denial after the proc. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a little trinket you apply to your health bar. You can take all the damage in the world and be left with 1. I had the 1, and I had dodged at least 30 something attacks before I got my final attack off. No healing, no replenishables, nothing except the 1 and a stick I found in some knight's butthole. Very, 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 very stressful. I laugh now because I have conquered that. This is a new Madeir.
Another thing that I want to mention, order blocks can either be 1 candle, or they can be 2 candles, they can be 3 candles, as long as it's consecutive. So, if we have a liquidity sweep structure, this is our order block, right? If it's 3 consecutive up candles, we take it from the bottom of the first candle to the top of the last candle, as long as it's 3 consecutive up candles. This can also be considered 1 single up candle. It can literally just be 1 single up candle with a wick that goes above this high, okay?
Is the leg up. An order block is the leg up or leg down that causes a liquidity sweep. Here. This right here. In an uptrend, it'd be the leg down. Why? Because the orders were being filled. Market makers, he just explained it, are doing this while the banks are filling these orders. The power isn't there. I know what it is. And it results in this right here. It's the leg up or leg down that causes the liquidity sweep. And it's typically 3 in a row. I'm wrong in saying that. It's like
They can be 2 candles, they can be 3 candles, as long as it's consecutive.
so consecutive candles.
This is our order block, right? If it's 3 consecutive up candles, we take it from the bottom of the first candle to the top of the last candle, as long as it's 3 consecutive up candles. This can also be considered 1 single up candle. It can literally just be 1 single up candle with a wick that goes above this high. Okay, same thing to the downside. It can be 2 consecutive down candles. It can be 3 consecutive down candles. But what it can't be is like an up candle and then a down candle and then 2 up candles that go up to sweep out this high. These 2 aren't the order block. These 2 are, because these 2 are the 2 up candles that cause the sweep.
So, per what he just said, it can be either 2 or 3 consecutive candles of the same color, but it cannot be something like this right here, right? It can't be this, because these 2 right here wouldn't be anything. Instead, it'd be this right here, because this wick right here pushes below most previous made low, right? this would be considered, these two candles right here would be considered the order block. And as a result, that's our liquidity sweep. The leg up being what caused it. What caused the order block would be the breaker block, if I'm not mistaken.
Got it?
That's in this.
Again, just like with every single other one of our confluences, this means nothing without context. We'll try and find a good example. Okay, this is a good example. So right here, we have a liquidity sweep, right? Liquidity sweep, and again, this is liquidity sweep to the downside, and then we see a break structure to the upside. So we're looking for a bullish order block, right? The break structure on this candle closure right here. We also have an inverse gap right here. So liquidity sweep, inverse for value gap, and break structure to the upside. Cool.
A hook and ladder with spicy pickle.
Value gap, break structure to the upside. Where is the candlestick that moves down that causes the liquidity sweep prior to break structure to the upside? This candlestick right here. This is our okay. This move down is what caused the liquidity sweep. It's the move down that caused the liquidity sweep prior to break structure to the upside. So we see once we get this break structure to the upside, price moves down back into this order block. We see boom, buy orders filled. After that, price ends up high. Okay. We find a bear cheese. Okay, this is a good example. Right here, we get a liquidity sweep to the upside. How do we know that it's a liquidity sweep? Because we end up getting a break structure to the downside right here. We also have an inverse bullish for value gap right here. We get the inverse for value gap and the break structure at the same time with this candlestick closure. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up candles. This move up is what caused the liquidity sweep. So we encapsulate all of those candles. This is our order block. The price range where those sell orders were able to get filled. Okay, so price moved up. It swept out these highs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive up candles prior to the break structure to the downside. This is our order block. We mark it out. Price comes up, fills in this order block. We see a down candle, and then boom, price ends up going down a lot. Again, these mean and are nothing without context, so don't just start marking out order blocks and taking trades off of them. Okay, it needs to be systematic, it needs to be strategic, and it needs to be within the right time at the right place. Okay, and if we do that incorrectly, then we're fucked. Okay, but this is a good example of order blocks. Okay, I want you guys to find 5 examples of bullish order blocks. I also want to show you guys an example of what an order block is that gets disrespected. So again, an order block can be valid as long as this is different than fair value gaps. So it's similar to fair value gaps in that candlesticks can close within here, but it's different with fair value gaps where price cannot have a wick above the order block. So
Price can't have a wick above order block. I said the same thing he said. We heard it. What you mean? That was what I was missing. The price cannot have a candlestick above an order block. An order block can be consecutive candles. 1, 2, 3. The order block is right here. Thing is, he says it's like fair value gaps, but that it's different. A fair value gap can have wicks go completely through it and be respected so long as they're closing within the fair value gap and not below the fair value gap, right? This fair value gap was respected. We're looking for an order block. Imagine this would be a prime example of it. We have 2 candles consecutively going up. As a result, we had price move back down, fill it, but I think this order block was disrespected. Allow me to learn.
obviously, if the candlestick closes above the order block, not only is that a break of structure back to the upside, but it's disrespecting the order block.
So, it would be considered break of structure if it was disrespected. If the candlestick had a closure above an order block, which means this right here, this candle closed above this candle here. This would have been an order block. This closed above it, disrespecting it. The candle wick wasn't above it, but that doesn't matter. It was disrespected.
But also, we can't have a wick above the order block.
You also can't have a wick above the order block.
There is an exception to this, which is called an SMT divergence.
The only exception is when this chart does not match this chart. I think this is probably one of the more complicated ones I've learned, because liquidity sweep makes sense when put in context of it happens after an order block. It's identifying the order block, the thing that causes a liquidity sweep, that I am beginning to understand is, to me, one of the more complicated things, because a liquidity sweep is as easy as saying find an order block, find the most previous low, look for a candle wick right after the order block you think is an order block, and have that wick pass below it. But the candle can't close below it, right? That's my understanding of liquidity sweep, and that is, without question, one of the more difficult ones. And of course, the same applies to the uptrend. Find two candlesticks that are in an uptrend, closed up, right? In an uptrend, the wick would need to go above the most previous high. Most previous high would need to go above it, and that would be our liquidity sweep. But how would I be able to identify an order block? He said it could be one candle, it could be two candles, it could be three candles, it could be 5 candles, so long as they're in succession, or one large candle that is the leg down in an uptrend, or the leg up in a downtrend that causes the liquidity sweep. Boom, boom. If that was explained correctly, and we have an experienced member of chat in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I am doing okay so far.
In that case, we are not taking the trade off an order block, we're taking a trade off the SMT divergence. And that's a whole different story. And we will get into that.
If an order block is disrespected, wick or body, we cannot take the trade off of an order block. We would have to look at the SMT divergence. That is, looking at the opposing chart. I keep grabbing the wrong mouse. I have 3 computers active, one with video, one with active, and then the other with chat. Pardon. SMT is essentially when one chart does not match the other chart when it comes to candle wicks, right? That is what's called an SMT divergence, and he will explain it more in depth. I'm going to watch that little bit as well. I just wanted to put that note into the video. Hello, condensed note. If an order block is disrespected, wick or body, both one, doesn't matter. If it's either one closing above, do not take a trade off of order block. That's my personal note. Next to this video.
Story after blocks break block to equilibrium. Okay, so go ahead and find 5 examples of order blocks on your chart. Okay, in that case, we can't not only here mislead an example. Don't just start marking out order. Be strategic. Out price comes up these highs. So on the time here, we find a bearish example. This is a good example right here. We get a liquidity sweep to the upside. How do we know that it's a liquidity sweep? We end up getting a break structure to the downside right here. We also have an inverse bullish fair value gap right here. We get the inverse fair value gap and the break structure at the same time with this candlestick closure. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up candles. This move up is what caused the liquidity sweep. So we encapsulate all of those candles. This is our order block, the price range where those sell orders were able to get filled. Okay, so price moved up, it swept out these highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive up candles prior to the break structure to the downside. This is our order block. Mark it out. Price comes up, fills in this order block. We see a down candle, and then boom, price ends up going down a lot. Again, these mean and are nothing without context, so don't just start marking out order blocks and taking trades off them. Okay, it needs to be
Breakup structure. To identify an order block, look for a breakup structure to the downside. We're in an uptrend. We see the low here, our lowest low at the moment. We wait for this candle to form. We have a breakup structure because guess what? We were higher high, higher high, higher high. Guess what? Lower. Or, I said that completely wrong. Higher low, higher low, higher low, lower low. Breakup structure. Boom. Right? Confirmed, locked, order, good. That breakup structure from the leg up, right? 1, 2, 3. Filled this entire candle. As you see that wick, the candle could close right below it, but the wick went as high as the candle did. So it closed within the range of this candle. As a result, the leg back down was our liquidity sweep. This filling this candle caused, guess what? This candle to have it the way it did. As a result, price took a hike, went higher in an uptrend. A downtrend, boom, downtrend, we'd be looking for a liquidity sweep to the downside. It could be one candle, it could be a few candles. Let's try and find one. I want to find one. I'd actually like to, let's do this. Boom. Because this is, I want to see this. I want to see an order block from an uptrend. I want to see it go to the downtrend. In an uptrend, we're looking for highs for liquidity sweep. This is where things get a little difficult for me because flipping an entire chart in your head and then trying to work the same way you just did with a downtrend, a little more difficult. Just a little bit. Because in an uptrend, you see a lot of candles moving up, right? To identify it, we need a breakup structure to the downside. Where's our breakup structure to the downside? When we break structure, we have to close below. Nope, 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 down, up. This is highs. Higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, lower, low. This is how we identify a breakup structure. From there, we have to identify the order block. The order block is the next move up. And then right after that, a move down that encompasses the entirety of the move up. So this right here and this right here would be our order block. Our order block signifies continuation moving down. Okay. From there, we're looking for, I believe he's about to identify a breaker block, which will continue its move down, which I believe will be this right here. This right here is our breaker block, if you will. Our price moves a lot, but it closes in a very little amount. As a result, price doesn't know what it wants to do, but because of previous price action, we know that orders were filled, and as a result, we know it's going to continue to move down. From there, we look for inverse for value gap, boom, or a fair value gap for continuation, boom. Fair value gap is confirmed through this, but it becomes, is it respected? No, it's closed above, and as a result, continuation moves down, inverse fair value gap, boom. But where's the liquidity sweep? We identified the order block here. Where's the sweep? especially when we're in an uptrend. Did I just do that completely wrong? Did I do that completely wrong, chat? Did I do that? Huh? What did I do? Let's rewind.
This candlestick right here. This is our gap right here. So liquidity sweep, inverse for value gap, and reconstruction to the upside. Sweep of these lows, inverse for value gap, reconstruction to the upside. Where is the candlestick that moves down that causes the liquidity sweep prior to the reconstruction to the upside? This candlestick right here. This is our work.
Liquidity sweeps identify reversals. The whole idea of a liquidity sweep is it being an indicator for a reversal. We're looking for the indication over here that there'd be move to the downside. In order to find that, I've already said it before, if I'm not mistaken, we have to find the break of structure.
Inverse for value gap and reconstruction to the upside. Sweep of these lows, inverse for value gap, reconstruction to the upside. Where is the candlestick that moves down that causes the liquidity sweep prior to reconstruction to the upside? This candlestick right here.
Maybe it's not right there, because we have a higher low here, but a lower low here. Maybe this right here was the break of structure, right? And as a result, our order block would have been this right here. Because we have one large candle going up. This right here filling essentially what would have been a fair value gap right there. This right here. We have move up, move down, boom. Break of structure on that candle there. Move up again, order block. Price took a hike a little bit higher, but it was losing power. As a result, buying power. As a result of a few more imbalances down here, fair value gap, very tiny fair value gap right there. Price does, or size does not matter. Fair value gap right there. Price came back down. Too many imbalances in here caused price to come back down. I think that's how that's identified. And our liquidity sweep, specifically, I keep doing that. It's the wrong dead blame keyboard. Our liquidity sweep to get back down to the downside would be this candle here. This wick. Actually, it didn't clear any of that, so I'm wrong. It may have been this one. I think it's this one. Because we had right here a move up. The highest high between these two is here. We had a break of structure off of this one. And then we broke structure again here for the uptrend. Back to the uptrend because we closed above the next high. It would have been a break of structure there, so it would have been this candle here. I'm slowly beginning to understand why it's the most difficult concept to grasp. Slowly? Quickly. Because I'm having trouble identifying a liquidity sweep at the peak of an uptrend. I know it's between these two candles here. Why? Because that's how it works. That makes sense. Without getting it like stupid technical, that's how it makes sense. Price took a hike. We had two break of structures, one to the downside here, and then one back up to the upside here. This, I think, would have been what he's about to identify as a breaker block. So we had break of structure, breaker block, and then from there, liquidity sweep. And then, again, another break of structure there. allow me to watch the rest of breaker block and equilibrium, because there's a little bit.
This move down is sweet. It's the move down side right here. Those break its candles up. Again, these mean and are nothing without context, so don't just start marking out order blocks and taking trades off of them. Okay, it needs to be systematic. It needs to be strategic, and it needs to be within the right.
Just so we're on the same page, I've opened a demo account with the exact broker he's using. I'm doing everything the way the man instructs. I am not doing anything on my own, except taking what he has put out to the public, jotting it down as notes, and learning from my mistakes off of those notes. Something just popped up on Twitch chat. Welcome to the chat room, whoever is watching. Hope you're having a nice night. I know I am. I'm learning a new skill. My hope is fairly simple. I want to get successful at this. Yeah. That took all of my train of thought and threw it away. I was actually happy someone was watching. My mistake. Let's continue watching. Oh, that's what I was going to say. These streams are me learning. They are not me teaching. Make sense? From learning this, I now have reference material to go back to. I have a stream to watch. I have a video to watch. I have multiple videos to edit and watch. I can hear myself say this 10 more times. I can hear him say it 20 more times because he said it 3 times now. Me learning.
Okay, but this is a good example of order blocks. Okay, I want you guys to find 5 examples of bullish order blocks. I want you guys to find 5 examples of bearish order blocks, and then come back to me. All right. I also want to show you guys an example of what an order block is that gets disrespected. So, again, an order block can be valid as long as this is different than fair value gaps. So it's similar to fair value gaps in that candlesticks can close within here, but it's different with fair value gaps where price cannot have a wick above the order block. So, I mean, obviously, if a candlestick closes above the order block, not only is that a break of structure back to the upside, but it's disrespecting the order block, obviously. But also, we can't have a wick above the order block. There is an exception to this, which is called an FP divergence. But in that case, we are not taking the trade off of an order block. We're taking a trade off the S&T divergence. And that's a whole different story. And we'll get into that story later, after order blocks break block to equilibrium. Okay, so go ahead and find 5 examples of order blocks on your chart. Okay, pause this video and find 5 examples of order blocks. Okay, so once you guys have done that, we're going to go ahead and talk about breaker blocks, which are essentially the same thing as an order block, except just a little bit different. So breaker cocks, breaker cock, whatever. Breaker blocks are the move up or down, again, prior to the break of structure to the up slash downside in trend shift. Okay, so breaker blocks are the move up or move down prior to the break of structure to the up slash downside in trend shift. So it's literally the same definition as an order block, except it's the opposite, I guess, if that makes sense. Not really, but look, stay with me. In an uptrend, okay, let's say we have an uptrend right here, right? An order block, a bearish order block, right, is the move up that causes the liquidity sweep, that causes the order sweep. The opposite is a breaker block. A bearish breaker block is the move down. So again, most of the time it's relatively the same price range for the most part. Sometimes it's different, but for the most part it's relatively the same price range. But it's the move down that in the behind this is it's a failed retrace. So typically, these retraces are what gives price the fuel and trends, the fuel to push higher and keep extending higher and higher and higher. So the reason that this is a good tool for us is because it's a failed retrace. So it's saying it caused price to move down, or sorry, the breaker block didn't cause price to move down. The price moved down, it's retraced down, and then we had buy orders that pushed us up, but to take out this draw on liquidity, we didn't have enough buy orders to keep price pushing, to keep price to continue with the trend, and then price broke structure. So order blocks are where there's a significant, where we were able to fill a significant amount of sell orders in the past. This is similar to fair value gaps where there's a lack of buy orders here. So order blocks are where there was a significant amount of sell orders that were able to get filled within that price range. This is there is a lack of buy orders that were filled because why? Like we weren't able to fill enough buy orders to continue the trend higher. So within this price range, because there's a lack of buy orders similar to fair value gaps, if we get in here, we fill sell orders, prices going up again with the right context and confluences. Now same thing to the upside. Okay, so we're in a downtrend. That was horrible. If we're in a downtrend, this order block right here, right? This move down, it gave us the ability to fill a significant amount of buy orders, right? So this price range is where we were able to fill a significant amount of buy orders. The opposite is this breaker block, this move up, this retrace that failed to fill the amount of sell orders required for us to get a full extension and continue this downtrend. So what is there within here? A lack of sell orders. So if price comes back and retraces within this confluence, it gives buy orders out of it. And how do we see buy orders? Just buy a candle up. By the way, I don't think I mentioned that. We are likely going to see price continue up. Now let's show an example of this on the chart. This. Okay, so look right here. Okay, we get a break structure to the downside, right? We don't have to go through all the steps, but we get a break structure to the downside. Let's practice both order blocks and break blocks. So where's our order block? Order block, these two up candles, right? Up candles that cross the liquidity circle. Where's our breaker block? The down candle, the retrace prior, or the down candles, because it can be multiple, prior to price breaking structure and prior to the liquidity circle. So in this case, price doesn't.
I'm looking at what he's having right now. I like it. He's not counting these two. He's counting this right here. Right? According to him, according to what I'm looking at on this screen right now, because the thing is legitimately the almost exact same thing, with a couple extra candles in the mix. This may very well be the exact same thing he's looking at. Just, I think he's looking at this on the 30-minute. This is much, much smaller in detail. Much, 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 much smaller. This was happening a few days ago. This video was posted 6 days ago. This is 5 minutes. Each one of these is 5 minutes. A couple hours. He's looking at a couple days. Looking at this specifically, though, he's counting this. These two would be the order block that caused this down sweep, this liquidity sweep right here for this. This low was swept by this. As a result, boom, price dropped. This would have been the order block. This right here would have been the breaker block. According to what he said and what I'm understanding. Allow me to keep watching.
Fills the breaker. Following that, it ends up moving down. Okay, we actually just formed, or after these 11 minutes go by, we'll actually form a good example of this again on both of these. So look, we get a breaking structure to the upside. We already broke structure to the upside. We haven't officially confirmed this yet. Once this candle closes bullish, then it'll show that we're respecting these. But we have the candles down that cause the liquidity sweep. This is what? Our order block. And then we have the up candle prior to the liquidity sweep and prior to the breaking structure. That is our breaker block. Okay, let's show another example of
Breaker blocks are found before order blocks. Order blocks are found before liquidity sweeps. Liquidity sweeps are indicative of reversals. There is typically a break of structure before breaker blocks. I am wrong in saying that. Break of structures happen just before liquidity sweeps. We're in a downtrend is when a candle closure above the most recent high, one candle, not wick, solely body. Pay attention to the lows for break of structure to the downside, being okay. Punctuation first. Boom. Boom. Man, I was in a rush for no reason. Break of structures to the upside, meaning we are in a downtrend, is when we have a candle closure above the most recent high. We are in an uptrend. We're looking for a break of structure. Break of structure to the downside, meaning we're in an uptrend, is when we have a candle closure below the most recent low. To find a low, we would look at a move down and then a move up. Here's our low between these two candles. Boom. In order to find the break of structure, it would need to be there. Or down, up. Here's our low. Our break of structure was on this candle. Boom. These are solid notes I've taken. Some of them are solid notes, others can be refined. Break of structure is not when a wick stops at a higher high or lower low from the former candle pattern. The body alone indicates break of structure solely. It has to close below the most recent low on a wick in a uptrend to go back down. It has to close above the most recent high to go to a downtrend, or from an uptrend to a downtrend. I think I said that wrong. It's the body that indicates break of structure, not the wick. Yeah, you get the point. Retracement can happen between break of structure and the next identifiable trend. Nada. Higher time frame needs to be checked before using break structure on lower time frame. As confluence, it could be a retracement for the daily time frame. Again, these notes were taken years ago. This video I'm watching it was posted 6 days ago. I'm learning. We're learning. Learnt.
I want you guys to be able to see these and notice these like the back of your fucking hand. This is a good example of only a breaker block getting filled. We get a break instruction on the upside right here. Okay, where is our order block? It's this down candle right here. Where is our breaker block? It's this up candle prior to the liquidity sweep. Which one gets filled? The breaker blocks get, there's move down into the breaker block, it gets filled. Bullish candle out of it. Price ends up moving higher. Now again, I know I keep saying this, but these conflicts.
For a breaker block to be filled, the candle wick would have to cross it after liquidity sweep. I think that's a fair note to point. It makes the most sense. Makes sense to me. I think the candle wick after the breaker block would need to go into the body for it to fill said breaker block. I think.
Really do mean nothing without context. So again, if you guys see a breaker block or an order block get formed, I don't want you guys just blindly going in and taking trades off of these things because you will end up losing. But we are so close. We're literally 2 confluences away from having everything that we need to know in order to take profitable trades at the right time, on the right time frames, and to be able to read price action for what it is. Okay? We are so fucking close. We are almost there. Alright? So fucking close. Let's do our homework of marking out 5 order blocks in each direction, and let's do our homework of marking out 5 breaker blocks in each direction. And now let's get into equilibrium, which is another one of our continuation confluences. Okay, so order block and breaker blocks, as you guessed, are continuation confluences. Okay, these are continuation confluences. Why? Because we get a liquidity sweep first, then we get a break of structure, a change of direction, a change of the current trend that we're in, and then we see price continue the trend off of these confluences, off of these patterns. Okay, so next is going to be equilibrium. Equilibrium is going to be another continuation confluence, and then SMT is a confirmation confluence. And then from there, we'll be able to put all of this shit together and teach you guys how to take profitable trades. I'm super excited.
I think I want to end stream. Hang on. Why? You're still watching the video. You've got another 2 hours and 15 minutes left. Why are you stopping now? Because at the end of these, he's doing homework assignments. And I haven't really done those. Instead, what I've done is I've tried to identify the same trends on a lower time frame. It's the same building blocks on lower time frames to compensate for having to swap between multiple different time frames. Though they can be found on every time frame regardless of where I am, I think it's best to split all the building blocks up into separate streams to show that I have done the homework and can confidently identify each one of them. This will further hone my ability to identify. This will further allow me to make a basis, a bias towards the chart when going in to find a trade. This will allow me to further hone my ability in reliably trading as a job. I will break this up into 5 streams, not streams, videos. I will spend an hour. I will spend 2 hours. I will spend multiple hours. Because that is what I intend to do, is I intend to make videos. Streams. I may have made a mistake earlier in this exact same stream stating I'd stream this kind of content. Let me make something clear. That is happening 1 time a week. 1 time. That is Wednesday. If you've been watching my Twitch streams, my Twitch account, my Twitch schedule, you'd see it changed. It changed this week. actually. This is the first stream I'm taking seriously of it, and as a result, I'm changing my schedule for the benefit of this and YouTube at the same time. I am streaming 2 days of my week, Monday and Friday, for video games. I'm streaming 1 time a week, Wednesday, for this specifically. Every single day will have a video. 1 video on Orb Plus. 5 days a week. Because I can't operate on weekends. The markets are closed. Can't do anything. You know what? I might say screw it and stream Saturday either way. Just to have a solid... We have this. Right? I think that's how I want to do it. That's how I have it set up. That is how it'll be done. I want to end stream now, though. I'm going to upload this stream to Orb's Vault. I'm going to cut out little bits and stuff and upload it to Orb Plus. It's going to be the longest video I've put to Orb Plus in a minute. I have not uploaded to Orb Plus in months. In a month, if I'm not mistaken. So, if you're interested in this kind of content specifically, go check out Orb Plus, the reaction orb on YouTube. Type it in, find my logo. I've already explained what logo it is. From there, you have my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you have, drop a follow. Head to Orb's Vault, subscribe. If you're new to watching me, or if you're new to watching TJR Trades, head over to the links found in my description for Twitch. In the channel description, there should be an icon. You can click on the red floating flaming eyeball over that little triangle. Yeah, click on that icon. Go to the links in that description. Find Orb's Vault. If you're interested in TJR Trades, the link to his channel and the video I am currently studying off of in the description of that video. I post on Orb's Vault and Orb Plus. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next stream.